Uh-oh. This thing came out in my ear. That's crazy.
Oh my God, that's like when you pull out a tampon and the string comes off.
That's probably not the same, but I get what you're saying.
I went to bed at like 11, fell asleep around 11:30, was woken up at 12:30 by a group of people right outside my bedroom window, like literally right below my window, which was open, having a full conversation as they just met one another, walking their dogs, exchanging phone numbers. The one guy just recently graduated and is working at Amazon, and they're going to hang out and all this stuff. And I'm like, are you... I didn't want to yell from my window and yell at them and be that crazy neighbor.
Yeah.
But for like 10, 15 minutes, their dogs were wrestling at 12:30 a.m., wrestling, like literally heard phone numbers being exchanged.
See, and I am glad that they made friends, they made acquaintances with each other, whatever. But I believe there's a special level of stupid you've got to be to just start a conversation with a stranger after midnight.
I think their dogs start, like, because I heard a dog like scuffle kind of first, and I think the dogs were like rolling around playing. But yes, still.
If it's pitch black out, if it's past midnight and you're a stranger on the street, I'm not talking to you.
Neon Climber and Elizabeth both said you should have texted them. I said that to Anthony this morning, that I should have put their numbers in my phone and called them.
I may have still been working in this room when that was going on, so I didn't hear anything.
I was like, are these people downstairs talking to Anthony?
What if they were wearing a "You Look Great" shirt? I still probably wouldn't.
I looked out my window.
I mean, after midnight, I'm just not talking to strangers. I feel like the risk to reward scenario there.
It's fair.
It's not fit.
I wouldn't be outside by myself after midnight. Yeah. That's besides the point. But we were walking yesterday, and the Kangaroo and Kiwi is a bar in Ballard. It's an old library. I don't know what was going on last night.
It was bumping.
Wednesday night. The bars were packed. We were like, what is happening? But there were drunk dudes at Kangaroo and Kiwi yelling from like their table, and they're like, "You look great," to Anthony because he was wearing.
I was wearing the neon hoodie.
So.
I've been living in "You Look Great" merchandise for the past week and a half.
Same. I mean, I showed up to Barry's and worked out in a Carla Marie Anthony show T-shirt yesterday.
And I'm wearing, by the way, the reason I'm wearing that I'm wearing this tank top that I cut, if you were here when we started the stream, is because I'm going to go to the gym in this later.
See, this is why you should be here when we start the stream. You got to see Anthony's guns.
Yeah, they're nothing impressive. I did, though. This was one of the weirdest things that's happened to me at the gym. So on Tuesday, it was, because today's Thursday. Wow, I can't keep track of anything. On Tuesday, I walked into the gym, and the two guys that were working like the front desk area at the gym, one of them was measuring the other one's bicep. And you could tell that the second I got up the stairs and saw them, they like tried to hide the little measuring tape they were using, and like they got a little uncomfortable. I was like, no, guys, keep going with it. I'm here for it. I want to see it, like, measure it. So he measures the bicep, and I said, you know what? Now I'm curious. You guys are going to measure my bicep. And I literally had a stranger measure my bicep to start my workout on Tuesday. But I think I worked out a little harder because I was like, man, that guy's got a bicep a whole inch larger than mine. So I need to work out a little harder.
Do you remember the My Day Friday episode years ago where I said, I don't believe you that guys measure their weens? Not together. Like, I don't care what you say. I know there's at least a point in your life where you've taken a measuring tape. That proves it.
Measuring my bicep because other people were doing it at the gym proves to you that I've measured my penis. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You know what, Carla Marie? You're allowed to believe whatever you want. Morgan from Cedro Woolley, thank you for the 300 bits. Jen in New Jersey, thank you for gifting out that tier 1 sub to, let's see, JSam71. Thank you very much.
It's Amanda Moe, got her drag queen bingo kit yesterday.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
That's
Anthony's birthday party.
A lot of fun. Do you want to drop that link in there, Carla Marie?
I can. And Zadie said Anthony should do a gym diary. Whoa.
I was thinking about, what is going on with your hair? I was thinking about doing like a vlog of some sort, but I don't want it to be just gym stuff. And right now, that's like the only thing going on in my life.
Well, you can do a playlist on the Carla Marie Anthony YouTube channel, which we are only like 30 hours away from being like a real YouTube channel, which is insanity. Because like, what, a month and a half ago, we were at 1,000 hours, 1,200 hours.
Holy crap. Thank you to all the people who are gifting subs, and Heather just gave us 1,000 bits. Thank you very much for that, because I think we're already in Hype Trend level 4, which is really, really cool.
Okay, we're going to get to radio secrets in a second. I can cross this off, and then we also have an announcement of something we're
How about this?
getting today.
I don't want the announcement to be overshadowed by the hype train. So let's focus on the hype train. We got tequila. We're ready to do that. So if you're unfamiliar with the channel at all, generally speaking, when the hype cup fills up or when we get to level 5 of the hype train and through level 5, we fill up some shot glasses and take a shot. And it is very early here on the West Coast. So we would be taking the shot around 8:20 in the morning. And if you are being gifted a subscription to our channel, use the emotes. Use like the things that come to you when you get a subscription. And it's a great time to talk about a little business where starting today, actually, if you want to watch the replay of our channel, you'll have to go to YouTube to do that. So right now, unless you're a subscriber. So if you're a subscriber, you'll be able to still come to Twitch, check out the replay, check out what you missed and things like that. If you are not a subscriber, we're going to send you over to YouTube. And the reason we're doing that is we are very close to, like Carla Marie said, hitting that goal we need to reach on YouTube. And once we do that, YouTube will basically pay us for you watching our channel.
But Twitch doesn't.
So it'll give us an opportunity to still create revenue and still create a little bit of a cushion for us to not have to rush back into corporate America jobs that we don't want to do.
Or ever go back.
And make sure that whatever positions that we find down the road are things we actually want to do and we're not forced into them. And I've said this a bunch of times on this channel. And when we were in Texas this past weekend, catching up with a lot of people from the Bobby Bones show, a lot of people, even Bobby, was asking how Twitch was doing. And the answer that I give to everyone is the 100% truth. It's Twitch is going really well. And we are unbelievably appreciative of everyone that subscribes, gift subscriptions, gives us bits, all that stuff. Cheers with bits. And it's doing well enough at the moment that it gives us the freedom and the cushion we need to find our next thing comfortably without panic.
Yeah.
So
True.
Thank you. And that's one of the, being able to move everything to YouTube and monetize that a little bit will help us out in that kind of journey.
100%.
Same thing with the merch, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Is everything that we're doing allows us to make sure that the next step of our lives are things that we would like to do and calculated and not rushed.
We are at, and I told Anthony this the other night, and then I had to take the video down because every time I posted it to Instagram, it posted sideways, but here we are. 530 orders, like You Look Great
awesome.
And Carla Marie Anthony show orders.
So now we have to go to 1,000.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no other option. We have 1 week left to get to 1,000 orders.
Yeah, 530.
Let's see. We are at level 4 of the hype train. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds left to get to level 5.
Also, if you guys keep seeing me play with my, like, doing things with my tongue, it's because one of my braces brackets broke yesterday eating a French fry, which I'm not supposed to eat anyway, and that's what I get.
Why are you not supposed to eat French fries?
Because
of the braces?
I'm allergic to French fries.
What was that?
I don't know.
What was the song you just did?
I like to sing things sometimes.
Oh, we got through hype train level 4. Thank you to Yask20 for the gifted subs. Thank you to
How many items?
Aaron1127 for subscribing with Prime. And now we're almost through level 5, which will get us to the shot we've got to take once we complete the hype train. And then Carla Marie's got a work announcement, and then we have a life announcement, and then the radio secrets.
Okay, I don't even know what's happening. I can add up the amount of items.
No, you're not going to sit here and
No, it's like just by category.
Oh,
but
okay.
what's crazy is, like, we see the amount of views that we get on the page and, like, the conversion rate.
Yeah.
I
Is
just
it good?
wish that, like, everyone who went there bought something.
Well, no, I bet you people have checked out the page a couple different times before they buy it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on there every day.
Oh, DJ FaZe, welcome. So FaZe just asked a great question. He said, radio secrets, ? So there's a guy who I guess last did radio in Boise who has like 2 videos on TikTok that got a couple 100,000 views. And he's allegedly giving out secrets your radio station doesn't want you to know. So we're going to address, he's got 6 videos. We're going to address what he says in all of them. because I watched 5 of them the other day, and there's some truth, some exaggerations. So we're going to go through all of those in a second.
We are at 965 items.
Wow. That's awesome. If we sell 1,000 items, that's crazy.
Oh, we will.
Where is the merch page? Jen, thank you for
just
putting
dropped
that
in.
link in there. And Lisa, thank you for putting the link in there. Appreciate you guys very much.
Thanks, Rayleigh. Rayleigh? What's your name?
Just got back from vacation. Oh, cool. Put my order today.
All right. Are we doing this?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I'm pouring.
Yeah,
I think we might be done with the Herradura.
Herradura.
Or that. However you want to say it, Carla Marie.
Yeah, we'll hit 1K. We have.
Well, there was a lot of people saying that their payday is this coming Friday.
Yeah.
So they're waiting.
Oh, my God.
What?
The Kyle King Show just gave subs.
Can I tell you something about the Kyle? First off, the Kyle King Show is a very good channel to check out on Twitch.
And the guy that we're about to talk about pulled up one of Kyle King's comments when in one of his videos.
Oh, in the reaction videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple people who
Oh, you look great.
I want to say, what is it? Oh, I was going to say something about Kyle
Wait,
King's
I don't
show.
want a big one.
Okay, that's fine. We're done with it, so screw it.
No, you're not.
Screw it.
Stop it.
Bottle
Yeah, Lisa, you're right.
done.
I'm so excited, though. Next week, we have a new alcohol.
But what I was going to say about Kyle's show is...
He does sports with a Z. Not
Number
really,
one,
but-
he does sports, he does gaming, he does a lot of really cool stuff. I got to see when he was posting on Instagram, like a bunch of the updates he made to the room that he streams in. It looks really, really cool. But I think I have locked myself out of my Amazon account because I was trying to sub to his channel.
Do you even have it?
I do, yeah. I was trying to sub to his channel and I just don't remember my password at all.
Yeah.
I was trying to sub to his channel and our friends at the Free For All show. Just can't sub to anything anymore. Just trying to like get in there and do stuff. Just wasn't working.
Well, I'm going to pitch to Kyle King. I think he should let me do my infamous segment called Sports with a Z.
Okay, so Carla Marie,
We should actually do it on this show.
if he says, Carla Marie, if Kyle comes to you and says, okay, I want you to come on once a week and do sports with a Z, what would you do this week? Go.
Well, I didn't really watch the sports this week, so I don't know. Do I know anything sports to happen?
Yeah, what's going on in the sports world according to Carla Marie with a Z?
Oh, I think it was
Carla
last week.
Marie.
But that guy did a little dance at LeBron. Right?
I kind of, yeah.
He did a little chicken dance. What did he do?
This is a great
No,
segment.
No, Lisa, Islanders going to the Stanley Cup would not be in sports with a Z. Absolutely.
Because that's actual sports.
Yeah.
In y'all's opinion, what's a great summer merch t-shirt? I'm having a hard time picking one. The neons are great.
Yeah. The
neon yellow shirt. I think the neon yellow is my favorite of the shirts.
the light pink and the sea green are also.
Yeah.
Sea green. Mama's favorite and Pepto Bismol pink are actually great for summer.
It really just depends on how loud you would like to be.
No. You guys are not understanding sports with a Z.
It's not real sports, right? Or it's like funny things in sports.
Yeah, like I could talk about Mayweather idiot fight, but if I did, I'd be like, did you see the idiot wearing Pokemon on his neck?
That was awesome. We didn't even really talk about the Logan Paul Mayweather fight, but I actually enjoyed it. I wish that Logan Paul got a little more of a beating than he did.
Yeah.
But listen, I give him a lot of credit because he took some shots to the face from a professional boxer, one of the best ever, and he hung in there.
Oh, Lisa, I like that. Sports
What?
with a Z, who filled out their uniform best this week. Man, wait till I get to women's sports and then I get canceled for doing that.
All right, you ready to take the shot?
No.
We just completed Hype Train Level 5, so thank you to everyone who subscribed with Prime, gifted subscriptions, or cheered with bits, or followed. Thank you very, very much. Wow, that's a lot. Oh, good, your licked salt is going back in there.
It wasn't the lick salt, it was the top that didn't get to the lick.
Unreal. I feel like I'm putting like Coke on my hand.
I don't know what slap fights are, Kyle King, but I'm in.
All right, Carla Marie.
What a mess. Today we
That's yours?
discovered that Anthony is Max and I am truly Caroline. This is the Caroline. Because Max has to go in the litter box every time after Caroline and cover her poop because she doesn't cover it. And Anthony literally walks around.
Yeah, because Carla Marie takes dumps in the middle of the floor and I always have to clean them up. It's real weird.
Basically.
All right, Carla Marie, cheers.
Wait, The limes are there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers. You wait, no, you did not look at me.
Oh my God. Cheers.
You didn't. You literally are not doing it, Anthony.
Cheers. There. Let's time to rip this shit.
Dick. So much salt. So much salt. That was too much.
You good?
Mm-mm.
Carla Marie, you got to do it. What is wrong with you? It's supposed to be easier.
It was the salt. It was just, it's burning. There was too much. I did too much.
Unbelievable.
Look at this.
You still got salt on your wrist.
On
On the table.
on
Don't
my
brush it towards me. What's wrong with you? You brushed that on yourself.
So I've been going to Barry's classes like every day after this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing their challenge. And can I
Come on, let's go.
can I have the bowl back?
On with the
It
story.
got stuck in my braces. And I'm in class like, wow, I'm about to throw up. I wonder why. And then I remember I am literally running on Seattle Gummy Company and tequila.
Yeah. As I've found that as long as I have some water, don't put it towards the equipment. I have found that as long as I drink some water beforehand, I'm good to go. Because on Tuesday, I did not have any water, and I took the shot on a completely empty stomach. That didn't do me too well. Yeah. Anything else in here before we get to which announcement? I think you should do your work announcement. We'll do the
This is big.
kind of life announcement. And then we'll get into the radio secrets that we have talked about, and that's what you see in the notification. That's what you see on the title of our video for the day. And if you don't know what that is, just to give everyone a quick refresh, there's a guy who used to work in Boise. I don't know this man, and I will not vouch for his character because I've heard not so great things about him.
But you don't know that.
But I don't know him,
firsthand.
but I've heard from a pretty reliable source. He's been doing these videos on TikTok revealing radio secrets. So we're going to go through, tell you what's true, what isn't true, things like that. Carla Marie, your big work announcement. What do you got?
I have been chosen to host a podcast for Vistaprint about small businesses. It's called Long Story Short, and it's actually a stream turned podcast. So it's a 12-week situation, and it starts with a stream with a specific small business owner and a specific topic, and then that live stream gets turned into a podcast the following week, and then a live stream with someone new, and so on. I'm so freaking excited because it's taking everything I've learned from side hustlers and really honing in on specific things. Like, all the episode topics are already figured out. I'm so freaking excited. It starts next Tuesday. That is the first stream, and that's why I was saying the other day, like, we have to end the show a little earlier, so we're going to start a little earlier on Tuesdays.
But people can, since it's a live stream,
literally
you can
just go
that.
right over there.
Okay.
And it would be very helpful if you came over there because there's a live chat. It's only going to be about like a 20-30 minute show.
Cool.
We're talking, let me see if I can remember the topics off my top of my head.
And this is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Branding, visual branding, SEO, word of mouth, etc. So I'm talking to small business owners, and the point of it is to help other small business owners. And my first guest is Adriana Carrig, CEO and founder of Little Words Project.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about branding.
Branding for Little Words Project is great because Katie was wearing their bracelet on the Bachelorette this past weekend.
She was.
People asking
let me
for
share
the link.
Oh, that's very important. Good job.
Do you have the stream link currently? Okay, cool. There's something I've got to do before we go to the next screen. Hold on, I have to, unfortunately, give me that. Okay. You won't see a difference on this screen, but you will see a difference on the next one when we pull up the TikTok stream or whatever video.
What platform is it on? I believe it is like directly on their website. So give me 1 second.
When we go to the next screen, though, Carla Marie, the salt you have on the table looks like we're about to rip a line of Coke.
Oh, my God, it does.
So if you can fix that, that'd be great.
Hey, Vistaprint. Okay, hold on.
And as Carla Marie gets that link for you, we do...
Look, it's got my face on it. How How weird is that, Toads?
Yeah, but don't click the link now.
Well, you can like. Oh,
Maybe open it in a different browser. Thank you to, are there 251 people in here right now? Thank you very, very much. We are, by the way, going to get, like I said, because I feel like people are seeing the title of our video with Radio Secrets. I don't want people to think we've either done that or not doing it. That's coming up in about a minute and a half.
Yeah, the side hustler spirit lives on. Catalina's right.
And I do think the coolest thing about this partnership, Carla Marie, with you and Vistaprint is it's like the most organic thing you could do with a big company. And I think a lot of times big companies try to like cram messaging down your throat and find people just with big names who and kind of merge things together. They found the perfect person in you to do this, because I don't know if there's a bigger champion of small businesses and side hustles, obviously, which is what your old podcast was, than you. So I think that's the coolest part about this that you could tell they went out of their way to find someone that authentically cared about what they're doing. They've let you be part of the process too, in terms of finding guests and topics and things like that. So I'm really excited.
That's what I love. Vistaprint has done like this series in different aspects before, and they kind of wanted to like really hone in, I think, for like this season or this part of the series, and hone in on like helping small businesses. And it's crazy because obviously I had all creative control over side hustlers, but I've never worked with a big company before that's been like, well, what do you, the expert on small businesses, like, you know, these people, what do you want to do? And it's been like, and I'm like, well, I know a lot of these businesses, but I was like, how do I do this without being like, well, I know that business, and not that they're my friends now because I met them as a business, but it's not just me helping my friends. It's me picking the people who I know can truly fit best in this category, because I really want this podcast and stream to thrive. You know? But I'm so excited. Also, each specific business that I'm talking to is going to get their moment as well.
And that's what I think I like the most is, and this is going to sound like an insult at first, you are not a small business expert. No. You're just someone, you're a small business enthusiast. And I think that's the difference is you come at it from an actual perspective of learning and being excited about what they're doing. And that'll obviously come through. So, Carla
Excuse
Marie.
me, I need to correct you. I say I am a megaphone for small businesses.
Okay. Thank you. Pretty similar, but I'll let that slide, I guess. Let's see, what else do we have here? I just saw that a radio account, Radio Davies, followed us. So welcome to the channel. Appreciate you hanging out with us and hitting that follow button. If you need that link, we are going to give that to you again at the end of the stream so that you can make sure you follow along, bookmark it, and not leave this channel. The other announcement that we've got is Carla Marie, against logic and better judgment. And I guess we could call this a family decision because it is going to affect myself. It's going to affect Carla Marie's 2 kittens, Caroline and Max. Would you like to explain, Carla Marie, your decision?
I'm not moving to New Jersey, Elizabeth, who just said that in the chat. We are fostering 4 8-week-old kittens starting today at 4:30 p.m.
That's going to be a lot of cats in one. You're going to have 6 cats.
That's okay.
In this house.
This is why. Let me tell you why.
Tell us why.
Motley Zoo sent out an email yesterday that was like, we need help. There is a shelter in Washington that is insanely over capacity to the point where they're going to euthanize a lot of kittens and a lot of cats. We need as many fosters. And I was like, I'm here until June 25th, and then I have to travel again. Let me take in like what I can now and then just find someone else by then, but I got you guys now. And they were like, okay, you got it. 33 humans stepped up. That's at least 66 cats.
Yeah, because
right?
normally you take 2, like especially when they have a big influx like this, you'll take 2 kittens at the same time.
Keep in mind, I now have 4. So that's that's like over 70 cats. They couldn't even take half of what the rescue was planning on euthanizing. They are hoping to get more like next week. So I'm going to drop the how to foster link in here so that you can help out.
And we don't have names for them yet, right?
No, they're going to, once they get their intake today, because they come in around 2:30. They get like an assessment. This is how you can foster.
I'm a big fan. So there's this orange one on the top right.
Looks
I'm
like
a big
Mac.
fan of this one on the top left because he
one?
looks kind of like ratty in a way,
So
but
the-
also cuddly.
The two on the bottom, there's two. You can't see one because it's being wild. They're torties, and those are definitely going to be females from what I've learned through Motley Zoo.
So we have possibly 2 girls, 2 boys. Possibly. We have no
it
idea.
could be 4 girls.
Yeah, it could be 4 girls. Which, I'll tell you what, if I'm living in a home with 6 females of any species, I'm getting the fuck out of here. 7, actually.
You are.
I
Next
forgot
week
you
you're-
were included. I said 6 originally.
Oh, yeah, I'm included. Next week you are traveling.
Yeah, that's true. I am getting out of
So
here.
I'll be here with all the babies.
So I think what we could do maybe one day, maybe this weekend while we have the kittens here is maybe do like a specialty stream, and anything that we raise, we can set up one of our Venmo accounts or PayPal accounts. Anything that we raise, we can maybe give to Motley Zoo because I posted about Motley Zoo yesterday about how people can help them out if they're in the Washington area by agreeing to foster some of these kittens because they still have, like Carla Marie said,
So many
dozens of kittens coming
and
in.
they got an email yesterday from a shelter in Texas that was like, we need help.
Yeah, so, and here's the great thing about Motley Zoo. If Motley Zoo doesn't step up and act as the kind of conduit for these kittens to their fosters, as terrible as this sounds, these kittens are dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, they're just going to be in a shelter for a long time. They will be put down. So maybe for the people who want to help outside of Washington, we can do some sort of fundraiser to get Motley Zoo some extra funds because they do purchase cages and food and litter and all of that
Everything.
while they're doing
Like,
the intake.
So what they do, if you're a foster, they give you everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of it, and I'm like, just keep it, give it to someone else most times. But they'll give you food, everything. It's truly amazing what they do. And then everyone in here is saying that apparently torties have a lot of attitude and sass, and they have something to say about everything.
Tortitude.
But I live with Caroline and Max, so we'll see.
I live with Carla Marie, which is very similar to what everyone's saying about the torties. Carla Marie, full of tortitude. Always something to say. All right. It is now time, after we got through that, and please, if you haven't followed it, if you're just watching, that's cool. Hit the follow button. That way you can get some notifications once we go live, especially if we do this charity kind of stream over the weekend to help raise some money for Motley Zoo. We've talked about it a lot. It's in our notification. It's the title of our stream today. There's a guy from Boise who claims to be giving out secrets of the radio industry. I think what he says, let me go to this
Radio
screen.
secrets your favorite DJ doesn't want you to know.
This guy, I believe his actual name is Chris. Again, I don't know him, so I am not going to speak to his character. Whether or not he was successful on the radio. He's currently, from what I understand, not working in radio, but that's a lot of our situations because of what's happened in the past year with people being let go and the economy. So that could be his fault. It could not be his fault. So all we are going to do is go through this guy's videos. This is Secrets Your Favorite Radio Station Doesn't Want You to Know, Part 1.
Your favorite radio station doesn't want you to know that they will not play your requests. Typically, a radio station's music is picked by a music director, a program director, or even an operations manager. But in today's corporate radio world, especially with the big companies like iHeartRadio or Town Square Media, one corporate person in the country is doing the music logs for the entire company. That means if you live in Arkansas, someone from Connecticut is going to be picking your music logs. These music logs are timed, and a lot of times deals are working out with record labels to play a certain song a certain amount of times. So when you come in and want to hear your favorite song, if it's not on the music log, it will not get played. An on-air DJ can actually lose their job for messing with the music logs or inserting the song that they want to hear at a specific time. So if you've called a radio station and just happen to hear the song that you requested, chances are it was already in the music log anyways, and it was just coincidence. Secret.
Okay. Jeez, but he takes a while to get to his point,
Like
huh?
a true radio DJ.
Jesus Christ. Maybe that's why he got let go. All right. Couple things. Number one, for most stations, especially your bigger companies, he's right. Most of the music is not done by the person who's on the air. So if you're calling them trying to make a request, there's not a lot they can do.
Yep.
So there's part of that is true.
I would say the only time we in our radio careers got to play an actual request was when we did the Friday morning dance party.
Yeah, that's true.
And even then, a lot of times, not that was like Anthony would play that music live and we'd react live, but like we had to pull clips prior. We weren't just playing the full song. So what we would do a lot of times is if requests came in, we would play them the next week. And we'd be like, oh, people want to hear this. Okay, we'd play it the next week. But sometimes,
or if I had it in the library, I could put it in. Yeah,
you would pull it in. But what'll happen is if you call a radio station, you're like, I want to hear Taylor Swift. Mean. And they're like, all right, thanks. Where are you calling from? Blah, 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 whatever. They record what you're saying. The next time that song comes up in the log and to be played in this specific log, they play your call right before it as if you are actually requesting.
But here's the other thing. And Mama Sarah said this in the Twitch chat. To be fair, requests don't even really come in that often. The only times we would get requests were honestly when the Nicki Minaj fan army, the BTS fan army, Ariana Grande's fan army, or like random fan armies. What they would do on their Twitter accounts is they would post like 18 radio station phone numbers.
Oh my God, kill me.
And they would say, hey, text all of these radio stations and tell them to play the song. So really, the requests were coming from glorified bot accounts.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you want to hear a song that you don't own, just go to YouTube. Like, that's really what people do anyway. So I think what he's saying is true. However, it's not a big deal because very few people are genuinely asking for requests.
Right. Like Kyle King just said, I would say 90%, 95% of the time, people are requesting a song I'm already going to play anyway. It's true.
Yeah.
But when I first started 11 years ago, 12 maybe, as an intern, I literally had to write down all of the song requests that came in. I don't.
Oh no, they're still used.
But But I don't know that that's done anymore. Like I would have to hand it in to the program director and be like, all these people want to hear these songs.
So and then the other thing I'll say on this first video is he is correct in that a lot of, especially the bigger companies, have a centralized way of creating their music logs, but it's not. He kind of oversimplifies it. It's not one person, and it's not all just deals with record labels. It's a team of people. It then kind of spiders down, and they use everything from YouTube views to Spotify to TikTok, their relationships with record labels and all of that to put into it. So he oversimplifies it. There is some truth in there, and we are going to go to video.
And every company and the lower you get, or I guess higher.
Oh, sorry, hold on.
Like, we've only worked up in the top 12 markets. Once you get below, like higher than 30, things are also completely different.
And that's true. For where he worked in Boise and whatever company he worked for, that may have been very true that one person chose music for all of the stations.
Right.
So we can only speak to our actual experiences. His video, his number 2 video, we will try not to take as long explaining them because he takes a long time getting his point across.
Okay.
Radio station does not want you to know part 2. This one's gonna get me in some trouble because everybody does it, but you know when you listen to the radio and you hear like a crazy prank, a bit, or a phone call where it sounds too unbelievable to be true? Well, that's because it is too unbelievable to be true. There's actually a service that radio stations use with a pool of actors. DJs will call these actors, go over the bits and the pranks with them, and run it on the air as a live phone call. So that means anytime you've heard something crazy like a birthday spank or a second date update or War of the Roses, something where an unsuspecting guy is basically caught cheating or something that sounds too crazy to actually be on the radio, you're listening to paid actors and DJs in a scripted bit. Now, a lot of people don't care because it's just entertainment when it comes down to it.
Fine.
But
he explained it. Goodbye.
Man, he takes a long time.
Okay.
I feel like...
So yes and no.
Yeah, the easy answer is yes, sometimes.
Yeah.
I guess.
We will say that we will say it's the truth, and we've said this on here before. Every dirty little secret you heard from the Carla Marie Anthony show was true except for 2? 3. Because before vacation, in the very beginning stages, we were like, we don't have any to play.
We also had a manager who was telling us literally on a daily basis, would text me randomly, telling us to use one of those services and do pre-recorded scripted ones. So to please him and to fill some vacation content, we did 3 of them. We hated them. We told him we'd never do them again. I think the easy thing to say, like Carla Marie said, is yes, those services are available, and a lot of people use them.
But sometimes, like, honestly, if there was I would say the times where we used, or if we needed to use, like, not a person that literally just called in, it would be like, hey, I, Carla Marie, have this going on in my life. It's a great topic. I cannot say it's me. So we're going to either use this or we're going to call my friend and have them pretend it's their life just to get this topic on the air to be able to talk about it, because I cannot say that it's me.
And the other thing, and this is the annoying part.
Wait, Shanna, you're actually surprised? I feel like people knew this.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I feel like this guy's not giving out crazy secrets.
No. And every state has different laws when it comes to, like, prank phone calls. New Jersey, you can record whoever the hell you want. Yeah. No rules. At New York State, I forget what it is. Every state is completely different. Yeah. So, like, that's all I'll say on that is like, yeah, that's real.
Yeah, like Washington, I believe, is a 2-party state.
So
which
both
means
people you're recording.
Both people in this state need to consent to the recording and consent to the recording under the pretense. Like, you can't trick someone and say, oh, we're calling from your insurance company if you're doing a radio bit. Like, that is technically illegal. They have to know exactly what they are being recorded for and consent to that. So Holly Berry just said the same thing.
But Amanda, no, it's not. That's not true for every state is different. And then Kyle King just said Jerry Springer was scripted, and same with 90% of reality TV shows. It's 100% true. Like, look at SNL. Like, that's my biggest go-to. It's like, you watch SNL for entertainment and it's scripted. Now, here's the difference. SNL isn't trying to tell you that it's like Katie and Snohomish calling in because she went on a date with some guy and blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. Like,
I think the craziest part, when we came out to Seattle, the show that we competed against, our whole marketing campaign against them. So this is why I don't consider this a secret, is literally on the radio, our managers created radio promos and sweepers, the things that you would hear between songs that would call out the other radio station for having fake scripted bits. Now, did they then hire that person? They did. So they seem kind of dumb for that. But I don't even consider this a radio secret. And it was one of the things that we had the most friction with our managers because we refused to do that. And at the same time, they would say, oh, well, we polled a bunch of people and they said even if something was scripted, they'd still listen because it's entertaining. So that's up to the listener to decide, does this seem authentic? Do I feel like I'm being lied to, and do I care? Or do I just care about the content that comes through?
Yeah, I hate the idea of a show like that. Like Kyle King said, it's lazy. Like,
there are shows that are completely built on that.
Anyone can do that. There's zero talent, and the show that replaced us has zero ability to connect with humans. They may be a great show and can do scripts and can whatever. I can't read a fucking script if my life depended on it.
Can't do it.
Cannot. You see me try to read things on here and I can't do it. Like, it's just, I can't function like that. And if that's the radio show you want, that's fine. I don't want to do a radio show that doesn't connect with people like this.
And so there are things that we sometimes have to be careful of due to like our former contracts and stuff. But I love the fact that the station we used to work for used to say the things on the radio that we are now saying, in that host scripted his whole show.
And now he's on that.
So technically we're not giving out a radio secret that the company didn't give out on their own. So it's not a secret, I guess, in that capacity. I mean, and a lot of shows, unfortunately, today are done literally a day in advance. So even the callers that you're hearing that are responding to calls are fake. Because they find this service, they script what the big nugget of content is, and then they script the reactions that they want people to feel are genuine, and then they just package it together and ship it out. So that's that. Secret number 3.
Radio station does not want you to know.
There's only 3 more, so we're going to get through this faster.
Contests and prizes. So you know when you're listening to the radio station and the DJ comes on and says, all right, everybody, caller number 9 right now at 349 win some concert tickets. And you call and you call and you call and you could just never be the right caller. Well, reason being because radio DJs rarely, and I mean rarely, ever take the caller number they say that they're going to take. couple different reasons for this. Most radio DJs are based in another city, so even though it sounds like your radio DJ might be in your city, he's probably somewhere else and he can't take your calls. Second reason being, most radio stations, to cut costs, actually have their DJ's voice track, which means they're not even in the studio half the time. Third reason is, if you were to take caller number 9, or whatever they call out, if the person's not excited, they're not going to give them a prize. Have you ever heard a boring person on the radio? It doesn't sound good. Best way to win a contest is, if a DJ does pick up, just sound as excited as you possibly can. Lose your mind and you'll win.
Okay,
Secret.
done.
Yeah, that,
Not true.
Yeah,
Not for any station I've ever worked
exactly,
on, or any station that I know of. Like, I've never, ever, ever seen this happen.
I remember
We would
literally,
literally, if someone was boring, we would either air it and be like, all right, that's fun, or not air their response. And as someone who answered phones for 6 years for Elvis Duran in the morning show, where you had to get caller 100 and I had 19 phone lines, I highly take offense to this.
It's funny. We were just talking to Ricky and Jake and John and Erica when we were in Scottsdale about literally picking up contest callers and how
it is.
you have to make sure when you're, especially for something like Jingle Ball in New York or Jingle Ball in Los Angeles. When I worked on Saturday nights, keep in mind, this is Saturday night. We still had someone in the Z100 studio answering calls, and I had to make sure that when I picked up, especially for Jingle Ball, and you had to do the same thing, Carla Marie, you say, Z100, you are caller number 1, sorry. Go to the next person. Z100, caller number 2, sorry. Going all
Ricky
the way
knows.
to the end.
Yeah.
So this might be, and I don't want to call him a liar because he may have done that at his stations.
Exactly.
For the stations that we have been involved in and the people that we've known, that's like a huge no-no.
Kyle, that's a possibility.
What did Kyle say?
He said, I've seen like phone producers tell the correct caller they weren't the winner because they're a prize pig.
But that's also part of
And
the
that's
legal clause, because
Yeah,
if they
true.
had won within the last 30 days, they are not eligible to win that prize anyway.
Right.
So there's that
That's
part.
fair. Someone just said something and I wanted to tell.
Here, I got it.
No, I just.
You good?
I'll scroll. Counting was the worst. Oh, Holly Berry saying Delilah's never in studio. She's at home. Her studio
Yeah.
is at her home. We've been there. Her little studio is her home.
Yeah, if there was a Venn diagram, there would be home, studio, and then Delilah's house right in the middle.
She doesn't do Delilah's on like 100-something radio stations, and her show is on different times of the day. So she is one of those shows that likely isn't live, but cannot or doesn't really matter if she's live in some cases, because most of the stuff she talks about is submissions, letters, or emails sent to her.
Yeah, she's reading.
That's how her show is done, and she is the show. It's not necessarily people calling in with needing advice or whatever. It's reading an email and putting it out there and giving advice and connecting with people. So
she does have producers who will also reach out to the people who email her and
get
have them on the phone.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Taylove007. I'm debunking this, she says, in regards to the not picking the real winner on the radio comment that the guy made. She says, I won a trip to Hawaii, was boring, silent, and cried when I won. First off, congratulations. What station did you win a trip to Hawaii with? And this is one of those things that we can only speak to our experience in radio.
Yeah.
Would I be surprised if certain stations and certain people didn't care enough to put the right person on the air or give the right prize to the right caller? I would not be surprised. I just don't have any data or experience to back that up.
Annette the mood set of quitting on the air was not scripted, Lenny.
No.
From what we understand.
That was number 3. Number 4.
TikTok, I'm setting up to DJ this festival real fast, but I did want to drop secrets your favorite radio station doesn't want you to know, part 4. How do songs get on the radio? Now, there is a couple ways songs get picked to be on the radio, but I want to talk about one way in particular, and that's the job of an independent record promoter or an indie. Think of an indie as the middleman between a record label and a radio station. The record label sends the priorities or the songs to the indie every week, and the indie uses his contacts in radio stations, program directors, and music directors to get those songs played. Now, each time a radio station adds one of the records from the indie, they can get anywhere from $300 to $1,500. Times that by 3 to 5 songs per week, and an indie can work 30 to 50 radio stations. You're talking about a lot of money, tens of thousands of dollars per week. Now, the key is when the radio station needs something like concert tickets or a flyaway, they go to the indie to pay for it. So that's just one of the ways radio stations pick songs to be on the radio, and unfortunately, if you're a up-and-coming artist that's not signed to a label, chances are you're not going to get played.
Okay,
Yo,
this is like far from my expertise.
Indies are a thing.
Okay.
I don't know the payment process for them.
But I don't understand. Isn't that payola? That's illegal.
No. So what he's saying is essentially there's a middleman. So the middleman in this is the indie. The record label pays the indie basically a commission for songs they can get paid on the radio. The
Seems
radio station
illegal.
still doesn't make money. But what the indie can do is act as a facilitator for prizes and contest tickets and flyaways and things like that. I don't know enough about it, but I do know that there is some truth to what he's saying. Mm-hmm. There is a place in the music industry, an avenue that he's talking about. Is it prolific? I don't know. I wish I could. But like Jay Pizzle 23 said in the Twitch chat, the most annoying thing is that there was all of that wind in the background.
I couldn't even.
You would assume that someone who worked in radio at some point would care about the audio quality of what he's doing. Crew JM69, thank you for the subscription with Prime. So that's all of the information I have. He's not 100% false. I just don't know if it's
we don't know this one.
a big enough thing to shock the world, you know? All right, that was number 4. We got 2 more.
This is Radio DJs Respond.
Responding
to Radio DJ.
We decided.
Secret your favorite radio station doesn't want you to know, part 5. Unfortunately, and this is a tough one because there's so many talented local artists out there, but chances are, if you're a local artist, you will never be played on the radio. Now, what I said is chances are, and if you're a disgruntled radio DJ that's upset that I'm telling these secrets, and you have played a local artist, good for you. What I'm saying is that is the exception, not the rule. There's a couple different reasons why local artists don't get played on the radio. One is because it's becoming increasingly more common for local program directors not to have control of their music. Corporate takeover! Suits have no idea how to program radio stations, and a lot of times they just try to curry favor with the record labels by playing their same songs over and over and over again. Also, it's the thought of program directors that they would rather play the biggest songs in the country over and over again, your Justin Biebers and your Taylor Swifts, rather than taking a chance on an unknown artist. Mm-hmm. Now, if you are a local artist and you're trying to get on the radio, here's my best advice. Make a song about your city or something going on in your city. That way it's relatable to your audience. Chances are the program director might come to you and ask for it. Secret's your favorite radio station.
Okay, so it's true, but who really cares? Like, I don't want to say who really cares. Like, we were always told people don't like new music. Mm-hmm. Like, we would have to wait for a song to be a huge song before we played it. So there are plenty of stations that do local music spotlight, new music spotlight, but we never did.
Here's what people I think forget is the job, especially of what you would consider a top 40 or CHR radio station, is to play the biggest songs in the country. It's funny because a lot of people will say, oh, you don't play new music. That's technically, if you were going job description,
right?
That's not the job description of those types of stations. Pop stations, CHRs, top 40s, they're all under the same umbrella. They're all the same thing. They're supposed to play the biggest songs in the country, the most recognizable songs. That's why people tune into those stations. Yeah, we'll play new music from an artist like a Lady Gaga or an Ariana Grande because those are automatically, because of the artist, going to be the biggest songs in the country.
Correct.
So there are some stations, mostly hip hop stations, that will do like a Saturday or Sunday show that's local artists. Yep. I know one of my friends used to do it on Power 93.3. Power 105.1. I know they also do it on Cube 93.3 here in Seattle sometimes.
Tacoma Swifty just pointed out there are smaller independent radio stations that will play local artists. Like here in Seattle, we have KEXP. Mm-hmm. Great, locally funded, like literally funded by listeners. It's such a cool situation that they have, and they're always playing new. I feel like they played Lizzo super early on too.
They did. And Ricky, who obviously is one of our very good friends working in Nashville right now for the Woody and Jim show, she brings up a good point. Is it also depends on the time of day that you're listening. Morning shows very rarely will play an undiscovered or new artist that people aren't familiar with or a new song. Morning show, people want in their morning commute the comfortable convenience and what's the other word? I'm looking for another C word. Not that one. Oh my God.
What do you say? Comfortable convenience and coincidence. Well, like for example, if Taylor Swift came out with a new album, we would like premiere it every hour on our show and then not play it again for 3 weeks until it rolls up in the charts. Like it's bizarre. All right, next. 'Cause
They want familiar. Last one.
Homegirl's got to go buy a new mask.
DJs for exposing radio secrets.
Hold on. Here we
Secrets
go.
your
Last
favorite
one.
radio station doesn't want you to know, part 6. Okay, this is a lie peddled by almost every radio station in the country, and it's called voice tracking. Voice tracking gives a DJ the ability to sound like he's live, but in actuality, he's recorded what you're hearing hours, sometimes days before you hear it. There's a couple different reasons for this. Corporate radio stations and general managers love voice tracking because it saves them a lot of money. They could pay someone hourly to voice track multiple stations across the country instead of giving someone a salary. Also, it gives the DJ ability to be on air while going out and handling other things. The lie comes in is when they say things like, we're live and local, or we're your #1 station. When in actuality, what you're hearing isn't live, it's recorded. Voice tracking gets rid of local talent. One of our stations here in Boise voice tracks in a girl from Portland. She's never even been to Boise before, but she gets sent information every day to make it sound like she's here. So chances are, when you're listening to the radio, when you're listening to a DJ, you're listening to something recorded hours or days before you actually hear it. Secret's your favorite radio.
Okay, well, before we get into this, there are some people. Bobby Bones does play some new country artists before anyone else is playing them. And when you have a show like Bobby or like Elvis, Lenny said that Sam got Elvis to play Donna Missile on air because there are things like that. And those are big enough radio personalities where they can do whatever we want. And even Carla Marie played Lizzo before like anyone else.
It's when you're playing the song as a segment or a bit, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can do it. So right now, if we were like, all right, there's this new artist, like, I can't get it out of my head, blah, blah, whatever. It's this song, like, it makes me feel this. You can do that. But it doesn't just get played with all the other songs.
Yeah.
A DJ on Twitch, they did actually we did talk about that earlier. This guy that we're playing videos of. We talked about that. So if you want to go back and watch, you can do that.
Talked about what?
How they're paid actors.
Oh, yeah. That was, go back.
So.
On YouTube, by the way.
This is, Kyle King just said voice tracking is going to kill radio. This is how different New York and LA are from the rest of the world.
In New York and Seattle?
No, New York and LA. We were so sheltered or like privileged, I would say, in New York because it's a union. Z100 is a union station, meaning every DJ except for 1 or 2 day parts has to be live. One. The only one that's not live is Ryan Seacrest. He's not physically at Z100 New York doing his show. No surprise there, obviously. But everyone else legally has to be live in that studio. And being a union radio station is amazing for the listener and for the talent on the air being paid. LA, same way. And I don't know any other cities are unioned. Maybe Chicago?
Some other cities. It depends on the station, too, because not every station in New York is a union station.
We moved here to Seattle. I'll never forget this moment. And after our show, the girl who was on the air after us, her voice came out of the speakers, and I was like, where is she? So I'm like, oh, she's getting coffee downstairs. I'm like, what do you mean? What is happening? Like, oh, she voice tracked. I'm like, she did what is happening? Like, what? Yeah. We can do this? And so we, after being in radio for how many years, didn't truly like know you could do this. It was bizarre to us. We're like, that's illegal here.
I remember when we had our first meeting, it was before they had switched Cube to Power. So like it was 2 days before we were going to make our debut on this radio station and flip the format. They had the schedule on a projector in this conference room, and they had me on Saturdays and Carla Marie on a Sunday. And we looked at each other. We were like, wait, we never agreed to that.
I'm not coming in on a weekend.
And we brought it up to the program director at the time, and he was like, oh, no, you guys don't have to actually be there. You'll record it on Thursday or Friday, and it'll just play on Saturday, which to us, as much radio as we had learned in New York at Z100, we didn't even understand that concept because even in New York, on the weekends, every single person that you're listening to is in that studio. New York is so strict, in fact, and Z100 specifically, is so strict, in fact, that I know a guy who auditioned for a night job on Z100. He would have been on After Maxwell a couple years ago. And the reason he didn't get that job was because he recorded his whole break in a system we have called Vox Pro, which you can just record and play on the air. If you've ever been on the air with someone while a song has been playing and they play your voice back, that's using Vox Pro.
You do it often. I will say that you do it often with callers because sometimes callers are like this guy and just go on and on and on.
Or us.
And it's just not good. So you'll do it with callers. When we first launched our show with Evan in Alabama, the first like week or so, we were doing some pre-recorded stuff that would air 5 minutes later because we didn't know what we were doing with one another. But that's not what we're talking about.
No, and that's not even what I'm talking about here. The reason that this guy didn't get hired was he would do his regular talk breaks. Like if he was talking over the introduction of a song or whatever, he would record them, edit them, and then play them back through that system.
Illegal.
Which it was like a gray area where technically he was in the studio, but he didn't get the job because he couldn't run the show live. He didn't know how to. And voice tracking, it's a really weird thing. And you'll see a lot of people who have been in radio or on radio now say it's what will kill radio. And radio companies have done a really good job of making the radio talent accept voice tracking because it's their only way to make extra money based on their shitty salaries that they get from their regular jobs. So they have made it a financial necessity for a lot of people. And then they'll tell people, oh, you'll be syndicated in a lot of markets. And I want to be clear. Elvis is a syndicated show where you get his show live when he goes live. Mm-hmm. That is what a syndicated show is. If you are a radio host doing 4 different shows for 4 radio stations and none of them have anything to do with one another, they might be in different day parts. You might be doing a weekend in LA, nights in Houston, afternoons in Jacksonville. What?
Or a Seattle morning show host doing afternoons in Albany, New York for 99.5 The River.
That's not syndication. That is voice tracking. And there's a huge, huge difference. And I have seen, and it bothers me so much because I see a lot of people who will be like, oh, I'm on Coast to Coast this weekend doing all these shows. It's like, no, you're voice tracking a bunch of shows. It's not a syndicated show. And they're paying you peanuts so that they can not pay other people's salaries like this guy said. Do I understand why radio hosts take voice tracking shifts? I absolutely do. When someone tells you they'll pay you $5,000 extra a year to do a station in Jacksonville.
Okay, so
I get that.
I would say I'll be honest, I truly do not remember the exact amount I was paid to do 99.5 The River from Seattle as a morning show host here, but it was a couple thousand. Keep that in mind, right? That would be like telling someone, your job, you're going to come into the studio 4 hours a day and do a radio show and get paid a couple $1,000s a year. They can't do that unless that's going to be your part-time side hustle, whatever.
Yeah.
So they pay extra to people to do full-time jobs. It's bizarre. No, Froggy's not voice tracking. So Froggy's live.
What Froggy is considered, so the interesting thing, if you're not familiar with Elvis's show, which is where we came from, Froggy for the longest time was based in Miami, and he would connect to Elvis's show in New York.
Via an ISDN line.
Yeah. Now he's in Jacksonville. So Froggy is not voice tracking. He is part of a syndicated show, and he just happens to be in a different place.
Yeah.
It's almost like
everyone working from home.
Yeah.
Like what they're doing right now.
What else was there? And then Martha said, so when I hear Elvis in Wichita, he's live but an hour late. Yeah, if you're in a different time zone, depending on the time zone, because Iowa took Elvis live at 5 in the morning. He was 5 to 9 instead of 6 to 10.
True.
So depends on the station. But if you're listening to Elvis in Spokane, it's just delayed.
Yeah.
So you're getting Elvis's 6 o'clock hour when he's already in the 9 o'clock hour. What else?
FaZe said, you might want to talk about market sizes, though, because C100 New York's going to have the budget to pay someone to be live. But Fargo, North Dakota, Carolina, what? North Dakota probably won't.
Of course. And tracking does help. Salaries also would be different. So obviously a jock in North Dakota is not going to be making the same as a jock in New York. But not every station in New York is union and
right.
There are a lot of stations in New York that still have voice tracked talent. Alt 92.3 has a lot of talent from around the country. I know our friend Brady is live in New York.
Yep.
But I don't think their morning show is based there.
No, and their night show is on in New York and here.
Yeah, so it all depends on the company, the station, and how successful it is, and the market. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. Do I believe that voice tracking is bad for the industry, but still good for the talent who gets to get paid? Yes, they're very different.
Kind of, but when you're voice tracking, you're just talking to a microphone over and over again all day. Like I don't
think it's actually worth what people are getting paid.
No, it's why. That. So I was also doing M-Style radio, Macy's radio. So if you went into most Macy's department stores, you would hear me or Alex on the mic at the time. The two of us shared shifts. I did probably 6 shifts a week. I think it came out to be like what? It was like an insane amount of hours that I was working on this, and I was like getting like $10 for that day. Like it was just weird. And I was like, you know what? It seems like a big chunk of money, but the amount of time I have to put into this and get a studio, and after doing my morning show, sit here for hours and talk into a microphone and be like, it's MCR Radio, I'm Carla Marie and Macy's, blah, 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 whatever. And it was like, yeah, FaZe remembers because I probably had to steal his studio a few times to do it. It's just.
Yeah. It's basically everything he said about voice tracking is true. And I want to make it clear, I'm not trying to crap on the radio hosts who are voice tracking because they're just making an extra buck to supplement normally the shitty salary they're getting for their full-time job. It's basically it's almost the radio equivalent to being like an Uber Eats driver when you have a full-time job anyway. You're just trying to make some extra money, and I do not ever want to shit on anyone who's trying to make a couple extra bucks.
No.
The problem lies in the radio companies who are taking advantage of the radio talent to save themselves not only thousands and thousands, millions actually of dollars in salary, but also the ability to fire people without contracts, not provide any sort of health insurance or benefits that you would get with a full-time employee. Bam.
Get this guy off our screen so we can leave.
Oh, he's off. Oh, I thought I moved him already.
Oh, there it is.
Here we go. Gwen and Kirkland, thank you very much for the subscription with Prime. That was all of that guy's videos. We'll probably never have him on the show again. Yeah, and Kyle King brings up a great point. He said, it's a weird situation. On one hand, you're trying to make some extra money, but at the same time, if we all said no, there would be way more live parts. And I've said this many times before. I just hit the microphone. I'm sorry. I've said this many times before. If radio talent would across the board, regardless of whether or not you were competitors in the same city, same station, whatever, if we across the board either unionized or at least united and stopped taking these shitty salaries and positions that companies throw out there, we would all be in a better situation, but it's very hard to do that.
Like the unpaid jobs that are out there right now.
I mean, if you follow, there's an account called Shitty PD. I know Elvis and Gandhi have talked about it on social. We've talked about it. They put up postings where it's like you need 9 years of experience and a bachelor's degree in broadcasting, and their salary that they're giving you, or sometimes it's not even salary, sometimes it's for a part-time position. So you're telling someone they needed 13 years between college and experience to get a part-time job.
Unfortunately, like Shitty PD and the conversations we're having now are like people finding out how sausage is made. Like what Elvis always says, like, you don't know how the sausage is made. Like, truly, this is going to be sad.
I actually disagree. I think it's sad because some people will realize that the people that they listen to or follow aren't genuine. But I think if we keep having these discussions, it will drive people to find the people in the industry who are trying their damn best to do things the right way. And there's probably some truth in that if Carla Marie and I decided to do a bunch of fake radio bits, we may have had a longer time on our radio station. I doubt it, but because there was a whole different reason we got let go. But I am happy to get fired if the reason I got fired was because I refused to do an entire show of pre-recorded bits done a day in advance or a week in advance. Yeah. And I think if we keep pushing that and forcing people to see what their entertainment is, because if you want a scripted show, there are tons of shows on every platform to listen to. But if you're going to sell radio as live and local and connected, then you have to provide that same content that you're promoting and pretending to be.
It's fair. I agree.
What else do we have here?
I think we need to...
I think it's time to go, right?
Yeah, because Homegirl's got to get to a Barry's boot camp class, do things, go save some kittens.
Oh, yeah, you got your Bears class. What time is that?
In like a few minutes.
Okay, well, we're going to get out of here. Thank you. I know it was very inside radio for the last like half hour.
But that was cool.
40 minutes.
Nara, happy birthday.
This is how we can end it.
Wait, Nara, are you at Fred Meyer right now? I have to go buy a mask. Are we going to do a kitten stream this weekend?
Yes. right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We will most likely be back at some point this weekend. My Day Friday is tomorrow. Please be here on Monday morning. It's going to be an awesome show. Thank you. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend.